Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Build. I'm Elena Shepard here from Yahoo Lifestyle. We're really excited. Today we're speaking to Laurie Hernandez, who has a new clothing line with JCPenney called Obsess, but she's also an Olympic gold medalist. She won Dancing with the Stars, and she hasn't even graduated from high school yet, so she's pretty impressive. We're going to check out her clothing line, and then she's going to join us out here on stage, so give her a hand.
Some days I feel that I want to be a lot comfier than other days where I would like to feel a little more dressed up. Other days it's just very chill, very relaxed, and I think that has to do with having to be all dolled up for competition. It feels good that outside of competition I can just be myself. It feels so good to wear something that you're comfortable in and something that makes you just love who you are and what your body is right now at this moment, and that's why I feel like this clothing line is so important, because it almost feels like it's tailored to you. A few of my favorite pieces from the collection would be the jorts that have like red, white, and blue stripes on the side. I also love this jean jacket because it's stretchy. And I just like everyone to know that this is a stretchy jean jacket. A stretch jacket. A stretch jacket. This is my stretch jacket. My other favorite piece of clothing would be, it's like a teal bomber jacket and it has flowers embroidered on it. The advice that I would give to my younger self would be not to be so afraid. Be passionate about the things that you're passionate about and be confident in them too. I am so excited to launch my clothing line called Obsess, available exclusively at JCPenney, and the sizes range from 7 to 20, and so it's for everyone. It's for all girls, and it's for us to feel comfortable in our own skin.
Give it up for Laurie and Obsess.
Thank you. Hi, everybody.
Congratulations.
Oh my goodness, thank you.
I mean, the clothes are so cute, and this is so exciting.
I couldn't help but giggle when I said jorts. I don't know, something about that word is kind of funny, but yeah.
So how did this happen? Did you always want to design? Were you into clothes? What's going on?
I mean, I was always into looking at different like patterns and fabrics, and I always loved to put two pieces together. So when I was asked to be a part of the Obsessed clothing line, it was a no-brainer. I knew it was something that I wanted to do, and to be able to have the spring and summer line kind of all to myself, that was really neat too.
It's amazing. And I mean, what I love the most about it, or one of the things I love the most about it, is that you're designing these clothes for tweens mostly, who, I remember being a tween. It was a lot of me like standing and crying in front of my closet and not knowing what fit, and like everything looked weird.
Me.
And what were you thinking about? How were you keeping in mind like changing bodies, body positivity, feeling good in your clothes, and still kind of figuring out who you are when you're that age?
Yeah, so I think the biggest point of view that I had was that, like, as a gymnast, we always strive for perfection, and we want everything to be perfect. We want our hair to be perfect. We want our makeup to be perfect. We want our routines that we're competing to be perfect. But we also want to look perfect, and we want our bodies to be perfect too. But sometimes in our eyes, that's not the case. Being out of meet season or getting injured, I was watching my body kind of fluctuate, and I was also going through puberty, and it was just this whole thing that I was really confused about. And so I made this line in order to like show body positivity and say like, hey, you are all beautiful, and right now you're just growing, and that's normal, and that's fine, and just embrace where you are, because you'll never get those years of your life again. So that's what the line represents.
I think it's so important to hear that, and it's so important for girls especially to hear, your body's going to look different on different days. Not every day is the same.
Every day. It honestly, mine looks different all the time at this point. Or like, I think the clothing line is fun too, because there's different clothes. So like, some days if you want to wear a romper, you can wear a romper. If you want to wear jeans, you can wear jeans. Like, if you want to wear a fluffy dress, then wear your fluffy dress. Like, it's all for different days, and it's all, just wear what you feel comfortable wearing. Just be yourself.
Be comfortable.
Just be yourself, man.
It's good advice. So we have some images of the clothes that I kind of wanted to talk through with you. Well, here are you looking fabulous, but I love how flowery everything is. Are flowers a nice spring moment for you?
Amazing. I don't know why, I really love flowers. It's just something that I've always loved. My mom loves flowers. My dad always loves to garden, so it's just like a thing. But when making the line, we were looking at colors and patterns, and I was just like, I want flowers on all of them. They're like, maybe not all of them, but a lot of the clothes that I've created have flower patterns on them. So there was that, and also the color of the blue is one of my favorite colors. So yeah,
So pretty. I think we have some more images too that are coming our way. Yeah. Okay.
Aww.
So tell me if I'm being crazy, but it kind of reminds me of a leotard a little bit. I don't know, like something about the tank top sleeve and
it's
then
the cut.
Is
Yeah,
it the cut?
the way that it's cut, it looks like a leotard. That's a very good point. I think so when I was creating the line, I also loved open shoulders. So like I'm wearing a romper right now, and the shoulders are actually supposed to be open. The shoulders open on that. There's also like a lot of the shirts, the shoulders are cut open as well. And so I like the design of that, and also the shirt is really, really stretchy. That's what I love about these clothes. They kind of grow with you.
And another facet of the clothing that I like a lot is you have like really inspiring messages written on a lot of the items. So what do they say?
So, well, a lot of them, one of them says like, dream it, be it. One of them says, this is beautiful. Another one says, I got this, embroidered on there. And that's definitely one of my favorite quotes. Just in case you guys don't know, when I was at the Olympics, I would always speak positive quotes to myself, even though I was so nervous. And I did that before the Olympics too, but live television caught me saying I got this right before I competed, and now it's a thing.
Do you still say I got this to yourself?
I do. There are days where I'll be going to take a test, and I'm just like, okay, it's fine. I got this. Everything is going to be fine. And it's really helpful.
Speaking of I got this, let's talk a little about She's Got This. So you guys, Laurie has a new book that was just announced. A children's book is coming out very soon. It's called She's Got This.
Yeah.
And can you tell us a little about it?
So basically, it's about a little girl named Zoe. We got the name because that's my middle name. And it's about, surprise, it's about a little girl who wants to do gymnastics. But basically, what I'm hoping that the kids will grasp from it is that in one part of the book, you notice that little Zoe wants to do gymnastics, but she keeps falling. And she wants to quit because she keeps falling, but her family is there every step of the way and saying like, no, Zoe, you don't quit when you fall, you keep trying. And so even just going through like the illustrations and the pages of the book, I was getting a little emotional because it's a children's book, but like that's my story. So I can't wait. I'm so proud. I'm excited.
I mean, it's like round of applause for that. That's incredible.
Thank you.
These projects, these two really big projects that you have going on right now are both, for children. So I wanted to ask, did you always want to work with younger people, or how did that happen?
I guess, well, I mean, my mom is a school social worker. My sister's a social worker. And I don't know. I feel like I definitely gravitate to kids, although I feel like I work well in any environment. But something about the kids, they're just so innocent, and it's kind of like they don't really understand. They don't know what's going on. They just do whatever that makes them happy. And I feel like, it'd be good for us every so often to look at life through the lens of a little kid. All they see is everything that makes them happy. They don't see anything else. And so I feel like working with them, it's like putting pieces of myself all together. They're all so different and so cute. So I guess so. That might be part of it.
No, that's really awesome. I mean, and you're talking about in the book also like that your family is a big component of it. So who was rooting for you when you were a kid, when you were that age, when you were falling off the beam and not sure if you could keep going?
Yeah, well, it was definitely my family and especially my parents. I think, without them, I wouldn't be where I am today. So all my credit goes to them. But it definitely took a village to really get me where I am. And without one person, I would not be here. So I am very appreciative and grateful to everybody who's helped me like drive to the gym, and to everybody who's helped me get doctor's appointments and fly out and whatnot. You can definitely see that in the book as well, I think.
And okay, so going back again to gymnastics and being a kid, when did you first get into gymnastics and how did that happen?
So I first started gymnastics when I was 5 years old, 2005. And I just remember watching two gymnasts on the TV, and I was like, wow, they look amazing. I didn't realize gymnastics was a thing. And I remember looking at my mom and pointing to the screen and being like, Mom, I want to be just like them. And she goes, okay. And she put me in. And that was really it. I mean, I just was a little kid enjoying the sport. And when I had mentioned to my parents that I wanted to go to the Olympics, they were like, all right, so what can we do to get you there? Instead of being like, you're crazy, you're too young to think about that. They were just like, okay, what's next? And they've kind of taught me to have that mindset.
And were you immediately good? Like, did you have an innate talent?
There were no. I mean, there were moments where when I look back and see, little Laurie on the balance beam and doing stuff, I'm like, oh, that was good. I'm proud. But I remember there were multiple competitions where I forgot my routine. I got 6s and 5s, which is like not good at all. I mean, it's fine, but you want to score higher than that. And there were times where I would just fall and I'd go crooked and forget and I'd need a spot. And it was just, there was a lot. I repeated a level twice. I started homeschooling in the 3rd grade, which made everything change as well. So there was a lot of ups and downs with gymnastics, but that's what makes it fun.
And did you start homeschooling to do more gymnastics?
Yes. It was definitely an interesting conversation to have with my mom. Here's 3rd grade Laurie looking and being like, so I want to homeschool for gymnastics. And she's like, what? And then it worked out.
You knew what you wanted. That's really cool. You knew what you wanted. Yeah. And then, so 2020 is on the horizon in Tokyo. Is that where it is?
Yeah, Tokyo.
Are you preparing? Are you?
Technically, yes. I mean, I've taken about 2 years off of gymnastics. And so coming back and seeing that we're 2 years away from the next Olympics, that's definitely something that makes my heart race a little bit, and I miss it a lot. So I've started basic training, and I'm hoping to be competing by 2019.
And so basic training for me would be like 1 day a week. For you, what is basic training?
It's well, it's so basically basic training. For me, it's going to a regular gym as much as I can and doing workouts that I would usually do at a gymnastics facility. And when I'm home, then I'm going to a gymnastics facility and I'm doing basics such as like kicks and front flips and back flips and stuff. And just basically anything to warm my body up, which is, I feel like my body's been in hibernation for 2 years. So it's like trying to get a big bear to come back and be like, come on, do things. And it's like, no, I'm kidding. I'm excited to be out there. But that was a really weird analogy. I'm sorry.
And and are you graduating from high school next month?
I am. I have 1 semester left.
That's so great.
I'm so excited.
Did you homeschool high school as well?
I did, yes, from 3rd grade up until now.
So what does graduating mean? Taking a GED and what?
No, I did it. Well, I don't want to say your typical way because I feel like your typical way is not homeschooling. But I did go through all 4 years of high school, and we did like an accredited program. So I had to send my work into the base of where my program is, which is in Florida, and then they send back like a report card and whatnot. And so it goes through like that. But I went through all 4 years. I didn't graduate early.
Okay, so let's just take a second here. You're 17.
Yes.
You have a clothing line.
Yes.
You have gold medals. You won Dancing with the Stars. You have a book coming out, and you already wrote another book.
No sleep for the week.
Could you have imagined that this is what you would be doing now?
No. I mean, that's a lie. A part of me as a little kid had always had so many things that I loved doing. I loved dancing. I loved singing. I loved gymnastics. I loved writing. I loved just being with my family and trying all these different new things. And so the fact that I'm able to live all of the things that I was passionate about as I was a little girl, that is really, really heartwarming to me. I feel like 5-year-old me is like, go, Laurie, like you did it. We're proud. And it almost feels like I don't want to let like my younger self down. There's so much that I wanted to do, and I feel like I'm able to do that as we go on.
And so, well, you have plans for the next like 2 years. But what happens after that? What do you want to do in the future?
College and acting. That's definitely a goal of mine, acting, hosting, and I'm open to every opportunity, honestly. I think I noticed a big fear of mine is kind of just limiting myself because there are so many things that I love doing genuinely. And so looking into college, my mom, I remember she was telling me about a month ago, she was like, when I went to college, I wish I would have put myself in more like just fun classes, music classes, dance classes, pottery classes. I don't know if they have those, but just all these different classes. And I wish that I was a part of all of that so that way I could explore and do different things. So that's kind of what I'm looking at. But the main one is acting.
Very cool. Have you done acting in the past?
Sort of. I was on Disney's Stuck in the Middle, which was a lot of fun, but I played myself, which is a bit weird when you're playing yourself because they give you a script and the way that you react on the show is maybe not how you would how I would react in person, and so it still felt like acting. I don't know, it was weird, but I loved it. I loved being in that environment, and also all the other actors around me are incredible. So that was it was a different experience than anything I've ever had.
You also have an amazing singing voice, which I know from your Instagram. I don't know, is that like a like seriously though, do you want to sing? Do you like to sing?
I do like singing. I mean, my current obsession is Sarah Bareilles, so I feel like I'm like, yes. Everyone goes through a Sarah Bareilles phase. Don't lie to me. But I've been in it for like a month now. But yeah, I do. I mean, I grew up with music in the house. I remember growing up when I was little, and my dad would wake me up on well, not me personally, but would wake up the whole house on Saturday mornings by playing jazz and old music and blasting it throughout the house. And so like sometimes I'd come sit with him, and he didn't know how to play instruments, but he'd be like, okay, so this is a bass, this is a guitar, this is like vibrato, this is this. And he kind of broke it down for me, and my brother plays guitar, my sister can sing, my mom loves dancing, so to answer your question, yes.
Awesome. And how do you see gymnastics fitting into your future?
Well, it's uncommon for a gymnast to be a gymnast past like 25, although there is a gymnast who went to Worlds, and she's 41, and she's amazing.
Oh my gosh.
She's incredible. So every time I say past 25, I'm like a liar. But I think, it also depends on where you are in life. I feel like there's a lot of gymnasts who try to come back and maybe it doesn't work out that time. There's a lot of gymnasts who come back and it's successful and they try to go back a third time. I mean, everybody's career and everybody's choices are different. So I'm hoping that I can stay in the game for a while.
Cool. And just for another follow-up question about Obsess while I have you, what did you learn about yourself doing this project? It sounds like it was something really different from anything you'd done before.
I think the biggest thing that I learned, because I'm promoting body positivity, I'm promoting self-love throughout the clothing line, especially to tweens and teens, because I feel like boys and girls, but I feel like especially girls, you kind of go through this rough patch as you hit like that puberty stage, and you just feel like you don't know what's going on, your body's changing, everything is kind of changing. So it's almost like this clothing line is just a lot of comfort to them. And I think I also wanted that as a gymnast. I wanted that comfort to say, hey, like I still feel good. I love the way that I look, and I want other girls to see themselves as that way too.
And my last question before we take it to the audience, I know they have some questions for you too.
Yay!
Is just you're a role model. You have this huge platform now. I mean, people all over the world watch you and watch you excel at all these things that you do. One, how do you stay true to yourself? And what would you tell girls who are like, how do I be like you when I grow up?
Oh my goodness. Well, I think the first one, staying true to myself. As long as I'm grounded and centered by my family, then I'm always myself when I'm with them. When I'm home, I'm still doing dishes. I'm still taking out the trash. I still have to do my homework. After the Olympics, coming home, nothing changed. And so that was the best thing that I could have ever asked for. And I feel like every time I'm home, I'm always myself. I'm always in sweats and a top knot with my hair. I always look crazy. And that's like the part of me that I love best. And so I feel like I've been able to keep that because of my family. I think I have had a few younger girls say, I want to grow up and be like you. And I always try to tell them, you can do that. But don't forget that you are who you are. So don't forget to follow the things that you're passionate about. And if you want to add an extra flair in there, add that extra flair, Just, you can go down that road, but be yourself in the process. So I think that's the biggest thing when it comes to that.
It's really good advice. And I know we have some questions. Yes, right here.
I like your shirt.
Oh, thank you.
It's really cool.
Yeah, thank you.
Laurie, what qualities does an Olympic champion have to possess in terms of the gymnast, in terms of mental, physical abilities that really stand out?
Ooh, I think everything really stands out in its own way. I do personally feel that gymnastics is more mental than physical. I feel that you can do all the repetitions, but when it comes to competition, if your head isn't in the right space, then all that work kind of moves to the side. And so there's a lot of that where when you're in practice, not only are you training your body, but you have to be training your mind too. And I think that that's a really important balance in the sport.
Yes.
Hi. Where do you see yourself in 10 years?
This question scares me so much. Well, actually, it doesn't scare me as much as it used to, because before, whenever I was asked where I would be in 10 years, I was asked that question after the Olympics, and my biggest fear was that I wouldn't be able to, quote, quote, top what I did at the Olympics. And as time passed, I noticed that, you know what, that's not the case at all. It doesn't have to stop there. There's so much that I love, and there's so much that I could be doing. So it's hard to predict where I'll be. Hopefully, I'll be acting, but if life takes me down another road, then I know that it was the right choice for me. But yeah.
Here in the front.
Hi.
Hi.
Thank you so much. So the first question, I have two, but they're about your children's book, which sounds amazing. How long did it take you to write the children's book?
The children's book, it wasn't, so I wrote I Got This, which was the book that I came out with last year. That took a little while. That took a few months. And it was just jotting down everything that like my journey to the Olympics. She's Got This was kind of a summary of that, but also there's little like brownie points, and there's little things in there that are a bit fictional, or there's little pieces in there like, I can't really bring up any like examples right now, but there's little pieces in there that aren't as difficult as writing as the I Got This book, and so I feel like it took a lot shorter time to write the children's book. But also, guys, that's kind of hard to write children's book, because you want to make sure that it's right for the kids, and that when they read it, somehow in their cute little heads, they can still be empowered by something like that.
So that leads to my second question, which is, what children's books do you like, or were you inspired by when you were little?
I really liked Dr. Seuss as a kid. I don't know what it was. As I get older, when I reread Dr. Seuss books, I always get like really emotional. Like, he is just such a smart man. Like, oh, the places we're all gonna go, we're all gonna get somewhere. Like, it's so inspiring. But as a little kid, you just see that he's rhyming, and you see that all the adults are telling you that his words are really empowering, and you don't really get it at that age. But something about that just really sparked an interest in writing for me, even as a little kid. So I liked that. When I was a little older, I liked Junie B. Jones, which was amazing. The drama in those books, so good for a third grader. Thank you.
We have one final question.
Hi, congrats on all the immense success that you've
Thank you.
had. I was curious, as a top athlete and whatnot, what's your next favorite sport that you either watch or would you love like being competitive in?
Ooh, I think diving and synchronized diving is insane. To watch two people do the same flip and land at the same time, but also have the same form, grab in the same place, which I think is really important, because as a gymnast, some girls, if you're doing front flips, some girls like to grab in front of your knee, some girls like to grab behind. It's like you guys have to grab at the same place, you guys have to twist at the right angle. That's nuts. But diving, however, I don't know if I would try it, because as a gymnast, I'm programmed to land on my feet. So to have to land hands first, I think that would really spook me out. But yeah, I like that. I consider dancing as a sport too, so I like watching dancing as well.
I have to ask you one more question.
Yes.
As a Dancing with the Stars fan, what's the biggest difference between like being amazing at dancing and amazing at gymnastics?
So there is a very, very, very large difference between the two. And I noticed, like, transitioning from the Olympics into Dancing with the Stars, the biggest question I got was, oh, do you think you have an advantage? And I do have an advantage because I had the stamina to do the routines, but I had not taken a dance class before Dancing with the Stars. And so going into that, I mean, I went from going barefoot for 11 years to learning how to dance in heels in 11 weeks. I went from dance, not even walk. The amount of times that I stepped on my partner and elbowed him, it was bad. And then doing gymnastics solo and competing just by myself, even though it's a team event, to now ballroom dancing with another human being who is supposed to lead me when I'm used to leading myself. that was weird. But it was also just, it's getting used to something that I've never done before, and I enjoyed every step of the way.
That's amazing. Laurie, thank you so much for talking to us.
Thank you.
Congratulations and good luck with everything.
Thank you so much.